Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with naked truths and well-dressed lies. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a stand-up comedian who is the king of the puns, it's Tim Vine. And a multi-award-winning star of stage and screen, it's Cush Jumbo. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, comedian, presenter and loose woman, it's Judy Love. And he's an artist, broadcaster and national treasure, it's Sir Grayson Perry. We begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. First up, it's Judy.
As a schoolgirl, I got a free can of Coke every day from my newsagent in exchange for keeping quiet about his affair.
Lee's team.
How old are you?
I was 12.
And this happened for how long?
Maybe for about a year or so.
How did you know about the affair?
Because I walked in on them.
What were they doing?
Something that they shouldn't be doing.
Bit of a pick and mix.
Well, he was picking and she was mixing.
What did you see them do? They were getting amorous, were they?
Gosh. Right, so went in and the door, because it was a post office as well, was open. And because we know him, I peeped round and somebody was on their knees.
Oh, God.
Have they dropped a contact lens?
Or they were simply praying for forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's not how you lick a stamp.
He went, oh, they all kind of like made noise and I kind of, oh, just checking if he was all right. So I was just checking if he was all right.
What did he say?
And he was like,
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Did you know who she was?
Yes.
She was a member of the local community.
She definitely was part of the community.
Was she married?
Yes.
So they were both married?
Yeah.
Not to each other?
No.
At what point did you have the actual deal where you said, I need to be paid with cola?
Right, so I didn't go in for a couple of days.
Right.
But back in those days, they had, do you remember the jelly sweets that was a watch?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I loved those sweets, and that was the only one that ever did it. So after 2 days, I was like, you know what? I'm going back in there. And then he was like, oh, no, take some more. You can have some more. And I was like, you never give anything free. So I said, can I have a cola as well? And he was like, okay. And I was like, okay.
So
and
at
then
no stage did he say to you, don't tell anyone? It was all just done with looks and stuff.
I went back again. He gave me more sweets. I said, can I get a cola? And once I realised he was going to give it to me every time I went in.
You realised you were on
Yeah.
for it. So in a way, by you talking about this on national television, you've reneged on the deal.
Well, I haven't said their name, and I haven't said where I lived at the time.
Where did you live at the time?
How long did the fizzy drink deal go on for?
Oh, that went on for time until, I'd definitely say at least.
Last week.
Still get them delivered to my house now.
What do you think, Tim? I don't mean in general, I mean about this.
Yes. I think it's true because your description of the sort of looks backwards and forwards and it rings true to me.
I'll go with whatever you think. I'm not sure.
Are you 51% even towards one or the other?
Oh, I see what you mean.
You don't have to be sure,
Is that
but
part of the game, or do you just not want to decide?
I don't like deciding.
Okay.
Because I like someone to blame.
Okay.
There's no right and wrong answers.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are.
I'm going to say true.
True.
Okay,
We'll say true.
that ain't true. Judy, it was a while ago. It was shocking.
Very.
But was it true?
It definitely was a lie.
It's a lie. Judy wasn't bribed by her newsagent. Tim, you're next.
I once wrote a love song for a girl I saw in a shop.
David's team.
When did you see this girl in a shop?
Well, I was working in the shop.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so was she.
Awkward.
It was a department store. I was 18 years old. I was pretty much falling in love with every girl I saw at that age. But this particular girl, I thought, gosh, she's jolly marvellous.
So you wrote a song?
The song was called Jill, which I said to someone, what's the name of the girl? Because I'd never been anywhere near her.
Can you sing us the first line?
Yeah, it goes, shit. In fact, I can't remember the first line, but...
I want to feel like I'm Jill.
Okay.
So can you do it? Can you come and do it to me?
Jill!
You're too far. You're too far.
Yeah, but you are in different departments.
And what happened? Is Jill typing? Is she serving a customer? What is she doing?
It was my understanding I came over here to sing. Jill! I can't bear it anymore. It's destroying me inside. Jill! I am coming back to you. Yeah, I've made up my mind. That's it.
It's a bit of a room splitter, isn't it? Because half the people thinking, oh, that's really romantic, and the other half going, creepy.
I recorded it on a cassette.
Right.
And it does get slightly tragic because I went up to her and I said, I wrote a song for you, and I handed her the cassette. And as I handed it to her,
Yeah.
I looked down and on her name tag, it said Jackie.
What do we reckon?
I think it's a lie because it was too funny. It was too funny.
I love the detail of the Jackie on the name badge because I was thinking about name badges.
Exactly.
But then maybe Tim was as well, as he invented the story.
He is a comedian.
Lie.
Should we go for that last
I
bit?
think we're going for a lie.
Okay, Tim, it was a heartwarming story.
Very.
Truth or lie?
Every word of that is true.
Yeah, it's true. Tim did write a love song for a girl in his shop. Grayson, you're next.
Oh. Whenever I drive the car, I can't help but make vroom vroom noises.
Please, team.
You mean you? You actually go vroom vroom while it's going along?
Yeah. I suppose it goes back to when I was a kid and you're playing with cars, you know, and the cars now, they waft,
Yeah.
don't they? They go, and so if you're going into a roundabout, you know,
Yeah.
so you get, you know, and so you're on board. You're on board.
How long have you been doing this for?
I do it unconsciously, I think.
Unconsciously, when you're driving?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pass my test until I was 30 because I was always a motorcyclist, you see. So I was used to the noise.
That's quite late to pass a driving test, isn't it?
Yeah,
David, how old are you now?
I'm 49.
And when did you pass again, remind me?
I haven't passed.
Oh, you haven't
yet.
passed, have you? That's it.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever sat your test?
Once.
And what happened?
What do you think?
Well, we know you failed. What happened?
No, you know, I crashed into a mobile library and exploded.
Did you go back in time? Mobile
Well,
library.
it was in the past.
Was it a DeLorean that you were driving?
Oh, this is a good opportunity for me. Marty! We gotta get back in the car! I'm doing Dot Brown. Thank you, Grayson. Thank you.
So you're doing vroom 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 for the revs in the car. Do you do other things like when you go around the corner? Do you go like that, or do you do the windows up and down? You do it all.
Right, Kush, what do you think?
I think it's probably true. Only because your performance of the Vrooms was so quick.
Tim Vine.
I think it is true
You think it's true?
because
I thought we were coming to a close. I realised it was the start of something. Sorry.
I just want to give a reason.
You can't park there, mate. Well, you wound it the same way. Surely the other way to go back up.
It wasn't down properly. It's true.
We're going to go true.
Grayson, they're saying it's true. Was it true or was it a lie?
True.
Oh, it's true. Yes, it's true. Grayson does make vroom vroom noises when he drives. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Paul. So, Kush, what is Paul to you?
This is Paul. I left my OBE in his chip shop.
Right. Tim, how do you know Paul?
This is Paul. We got together to launch a brand new snack, Tim Vine's Bendy Biscuits.
Finally, Lee, your relationship with Paul.
This is Brother Paul, and I'm ashamed to say that he's the monk that I got drunk.
So there we have it. Kush's fast food friend, Tim's biscuit buddy, or Lee's hammered holy man. David.
Excellent. So, Kush, and congratulations on the OBE.
Yes, congratulations on the OBE.
You've got an OBE, haven't you, Rob?
I've got the MBE, just below the OBE.
That's like the Carabao Cup of medals, isn't it?
Yes. They say when you get these honours, they say what it's for, don't they?
Yes.
And what did they list of yours?
Services to drama.
Just services to drama.
Do you mean just? What's wrong with that?
Because sometimes there are people, and then they'll say services to something, charity, and something. It'll be a few things.
What were you? Services to what?
You got it for punctuality, didn't you? Kush, where is this chip shop?
In East Dulwich.
Why were you carrying your OBE with you to the chip shop?
Well, I took my parents to the palace. It was a very special day. I wasn't at the OBE bit where you get sandwiches and stuff after.
Why weren't you at the bit with the sandwiches?
Because
after?
you don't always get sandwiches and snacks after the awards. Like on that day, the Queen gave me my OBE, and then you get to mill around a bit, and then you leave, you depart the palace.
Oh, is it? So if it's like, if you have to make do with Princess Anne, you get sandwiches, but if you got the Queen, then no snacks.
Yeah.
So the package evens out overall. And if it's Prince Andrew, it's like a 5-course meal with food.
We headed back to where I lived, to a pub, and then my parents headed off home, and I went to my local chippy, where Paul works. It must have been going up towards midnight or something. So I went in to get some chips.
What else is he selling in the chip shop?
In the Codfather.
The
chips.
Codfather.
Yeah, that's what it's called,
the
Codfather.
Codfather.
Yeah.
When you go in there, everybody knows that Paul loves, like, Scarfacey,
yes.
Italian
Nice.
movies,
Nice.
like, he's got all that stuff up on the
Got
wall.
a slight Tony Montana look about him, hasn't he? You could imagine him stood there with a machine gun saying, "Say hello to my little friend."
Are you there as well, are you?
So where's your medal at this point?
Everyone in the chippy was really excited for me, and I put it down on the counter with my clutch bag, got my chips, got my can of Fanta, got my clutch bag, and I left like this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got home that I got inside that I was like, where's the box?
I love the person after you. I ordered cod and chips, but I an OBE.
But by that time, Paul had closed, so I literally spent the most fretful night waiting to find out if it was in there. I went back at like 3 because that's normally when he starts to open and heat things up.
Oh, he don't open at lunchtime.
He's not a kebab shop, Judy. He's a proper chippy.
So when you went back in,
When I went back in, he was like, I know why you're here.
Did you pay for your chips?
Yes, I paid for my chips.
Oh, he's cheeky. He got...
He obviously wasn't having an affair.
right, who's next?
Right, Tim, remind us what you marketed with Paul.
It was to launch a brand new snack called Tim Vine's Bendy Biscuits.
Describe the snack, please.
Well, the snack came about from when I'm at my mum's on a Sunday, she makes me biscuits.
How old are you?
On this particular day, she made me this biscuit, and I just noticed it was slightly malleable. And I began to bend it, and he could touch his toes, you know, all the way like this. I just immediately thought, Tim Vine's Bendy Biscuits.
I thought one of the defining characteristics of a biscuit was that it would snap. I don't think it qualifies as a biscuit if it bends.
Well, in my eyes it did, and I called it...
So what happened, Tim?
I happened to be chatting to a friend about this, and he said, well, I've got a mate who works in that industry.
The biscuit industry.
The biscuit industry.
Specifically the biscuit, not
Well, the
the
biscuit-
food industry, the biscuit industry.
You're very keen for
when
us
I
to believe
said-
he's a monk, aren't you, Lee?
Did you have any marketing ideas for this? I mean, your
Yes,
creative
I did, yeah.
brain.
I immediately thought, you know, Tim Vine's Bendy Biscuits. Go on, have a bend! I thought that'd be the advert.
Who did Paul work for in the biscuit industry?
I don't know the name of the company. I wasn't there to try and quiz him what his background was. He lived in a massive house with loads of statues in the garden, and I thought, this guy's successful, and it's down to biscuits.
You went to his house.
You went to his house for the meeting, and it's a huge house with statues in the garden.
Did he wear a top hat and drive a Rolls Royce?
Paul said, let's do a tasting. So this is where the empire crumbles, if you like. I got that, and I explained everything to my mum, and blow me, she couldn't find what it was she did to make them bendy. And she made several attempts. They were getting crumblier and crumblier. Well, I mean, she did one biscuit, it was like sand, you know, and I said, it's going in the wrong direction. We want to make it bendy.
Tim, how long ago did your stuff happen?
About 2 years ago.
Oh.
I know you assumed he was a child, but no, that happened in his adult life.
If you are telling the truth, I'm going home to try and make some bended biscuits.
Well, it's this, Lee's nonsense, or OBE in a chip shop. That's what we've got.
Oh, you're not even asking about me. You've already got into summary mode.
Okay, Lee, how did you get brother Paul drunk?
Well, I was trying to promote my new Lee Max Rigid Rich Teas. Now, we were at a party.
Whose party was this?
This was a guy called Peter. And he has a brother, and I know you're going to laugh, called Paul. This Paul.
I don't think anyone was going to laugh, no.
Paul is a monk.
What type of monk?
Oh, I don't know the type. He was taking a vow of silence, we didn't chat.
Now, you claim you got him drunk. Under what circumstances?
Well, Paul had asked me.
At Peter's party, Paul
Peter's
asked
parties,
you,
we were picking pecks of pickled pepper, and we went, he asked me to get him a drink.
So he's let out for a special day because it's his brother's party.
Why is he not dressed as a monk now?
Because it would be a bit of a giveaway that it was...
So he asked you, who'd never met, to make him a drink.
Well, he didn't ask me to make him one, he asked me to go and get him a drink.
What did he drink? Was it like Buckfast and St Benedictine or something?
No, he doesn't drink, so he said, just get me a soft drink. And I went over to the table, and there was punch, and there was also a mocktail next door in the bowl there. And so I mixed up the two bowls.
Okay.
And Paul was so innocent that when he sort of first took a sip, he didn't notice that it was sort of full of vodka.
You were fine to have one or two, and you wouldn't know. But 26.
When he became drunk, I mean, can you remember any particular
Oh, he was a
incidents?
completely different person.
Really?
Oh, like that.
Well, so what did he become?
There isn't a God, you know. I'm just in it for the free food.
How did he get on with his brother? Were there any tensions
Well, there wasn't
between
any
him and his
tensions, but Peter was an atheist.
Were they brought up as religious?
I don't think so, no. I think...
It wasn't a Catholic family.
no, Paul found his calling.
Right.
How do you know it was Catholic, by the way?
Well, monks are usually Catholic.
Could be Buddhist.
Yes. Is he Buddhist?
No, he's Catholic.
Was it?
I'm just saying, don't make presumptions about things, David. Gets you into trouble.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
We sent you an email.
Could be. Okay, but it was, in this case, Catholic. And do you know the order?
Just one mocktail, please.
All right, we need an answer. So,
Yes.
David's team. Is Paul Cush's fast food friend, Tim's biscuit buddy, or Lee's hammered holy man.
We shouldn't judge him on his appearance. But I would say he looks more likely to be someone that runs a chip shop
A nice
than an extremely wealthy biscuit developer.
Just to be clear, David, this is you not
but he
judging.
does look-
No.
Thank God you didn't judge him. God knows what you'd have said.
Are you ruling out Lee?
Yes.
Lee?
No, because Lee said he's a monk.
That's right.
Well, he's not a monk. Look at him.
What is it about him that's not monk?
Well, you know how monks have to dress as monks the whole time. That's part of the thing.
You didn't ask me whether he was still a monk, did you?
Is he still a monk?
He was thrown out of being a monk. due to his heavy consumption of alcohol.
What does he do now, Lee?
This is the bit that's going to throw you.
Does he run a
He now
chip
runs
shop?
a fish and chip shop.
Well, I've been to an investiture at the Palace, and they don't serve any food, so it's believable, I think.
Yeah, it is. That's unlikely but believable. And the other two, they seem impossible.
So, you think it's Kush and the OBE story. Paul, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Paul, and Tim and I try to work on the district.
Thank you, Paul. Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lives, and we start with... It's David.
I once went to the opera, but found it so unbearable, I spent the last hour secretly listening to an audiobook.
Lee's team.
Okay, what was the opera?
It was La Bohème.
I've seen La Bohème. Can you tell me what it was about?
Is it set in Paris?
Go on.
Well, am I right? Because I don't want to carry on. They were like in a room.
In a room.
And one of them dies, I think, at the end.
Is this the La Bohème that you know and love?
Don't know, I've never seen it.
Who had taken you there? Whose idea was it?
So a friend of mine called, his name's Stephen. I don't know if you believe that or not. He'd arranged a group trip to see this, and it was dark. We were sitting still.
So did you pop your pods in surreptitiously?
I think they were headphones with a wire.
But if this was Stephen's idea, were you not worried that this would look a bit rude in front of Stephen?
No, he's a good friend of mine.
Did you nudge him and say you
Enjoy.
don't mind, do you? Or did you just
No,
do it?
I thought that might put them off their singing, and I didn't want them to slow down.
Would you have had to take the iPhone out, though, to get onto that particular site? It wasn't already on and loaded.
I had to furtively take it out.
Kush, if you're doing one of your wonderful stage performances and you glance into the audience and you notice a sort of figure there going fiddling in his pocket. Do you ever spot that sort of thing happening in an audience?
I mean, I haven't seen someone take the really long white head, probably untangle them, because they probably become quite tangled in your pocket and in with the Werther's Originals and stuff. And
Werther's Original.
All right, what are we thinking?
I think it's true.
It was a trick question. I couldn't remember who had said it.
No, well, you've got a lot to do, Ron.
To be fair, I didn't spot it either. I was thinking, I think she's lying about the whole lot.
I had a 50-50 chance there of getting it right. I should have gone, so what do you think?
So do we believe David put his headphones in?
I think he's a polite chap, and I think he'd put himself through something he wasn't enjoying rather than do that. So I think it's a lie.
Kush?
it's a lie.
Think it's a lie?
Yeah.
I think it's a lie? Right, so it's a lie.
It's a lie. They think it's a lie, David. Truth or lie?
It's a lie.
We got one right.
Yes, it's a lie. David didn't listen to an audiobook at the opera. Next. It's Tim.
Aside from Mr. McKee, who taught PE, 3 other teachers at my school taught subjects that rhymed with their surnames.
David's team.
Okay, so Mr. McKee taught PE.
Yes.
Who else?
Mr.
I'm genuinely having a coughing fit.
Mr.
Wait, are you ready? Okay, I'm better now, thank you. Carry on, Tim.
Mr. Caths.
Oh, good God. Good God. If you say Mr. Meography, forget it.
Mr. Caths.
Mr. Missile and Technology.
Mr. Katz, K-A-T-H. Mr. Katz, and Mr. Hench, French.
Mr. Hench, Mr. Caths, and who else?
It was a little bit tenuous, the third one, but it was a bit of a joke amongst us. So it was Mr. Hort taught sport.
You got PE in sports?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, PE was something that happened in lesson time, and then sports was something that we did, obviously.
But what did Mr.
around about 4
Hort
o'clock.
teach?
It might have been what was called loosely then science, so it would have been, you know...
Surely that was Mr. Bryant's.
No.
Do you have any at your school, Lee? Who's...
Just the headmaster, Mr. Morstel.
Well, what do you think, Judy?
I don't know, he's always got this face that makes you feel like he's telling the truth. Like, just the most simplest things, where you'd be like...
He's got a simple face, I agree.
What we've got to imagine, it's not true, and what Tim has had to do is turn over the card and quickly-ish make up 3 rhyming names of teachers. Do we believe he could have come up with that?
He's a very quick
He's a very
person.
quick... Yeah,
What would you have come up with? Give me 4 teachers whose names at your school rhymed with subject. Go.
Mr. Starmer. He teaches
He did drama.
Mrs. Panish.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Bleak taught Greek.
Yeah.
Mr. Gratin taught Latin.
Yeah.
This is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, let's just do this.
So what's it going to be, David?
Just one more question. Tim, can you name a teacher whose name didn't rhyme with the subject they taught?
Yeah, Mr. Schwartz, and he was...
He could have done sports.
No,
Do you know we'd have taken Schwartz and sport?
Come on, it's time to decide.
Lie.
All right, Tim, they think it's a lie. Was it, or was that the truth?
it was actually a lie.
It's a lie. They were not the names of Tim's teachers. Well, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that David's team have 2 points and Lee's team have 4. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night. The show that separates fact from fiction. On David Mitchell's team tonight, from Radio 2 to Strictly, it's presenter Richie Anderson. And here we go, it's comedy actor Catherine Parkinson. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, from Line of Duty to Hull Raisers, it's Taj Atwell. And stand-up comic and friend of the show, it's Chris McCausland. We start with round 1, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, so they've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction, and Chris is up first.
Right, read that for us, mate.
Oh, you're so show busy. Read it yourself. I once offended a member of a heavy metal band when I told him his metal wasn't heavy enough.
Okay, what was the heavy metal band?
Well,
You can say what I don't know the names of any heavy metal bands, so just say anything.
nor do I.
I'm on the radio, so I might.
All right, okay.
I might.
Error type 11.
Oh no, we don't play them on radio too.
All right.
When was this, Chris?
Oh, this was maybe 20 odd years ago.
Right.
And how did you encounter the band Error Type 11?
I went to watch them.
Right. Because you were already a fan.
No, yes, I thought I was.
So how had you heard of Error Type 11 in order to go to one of their
I
gigs?
had the album. I went to a concert and I was expecting them to be really quite heavy and they were quite whiny.
So hang on, so you're not talking about literal metal?
It's a genre of music,
I
David.
know it's a genre of music.
It's a very loud, thrashy
I
metal.
wondered whether there might have been some sort of play on words within the assertion. But
No.
Oh, I thought you were joking. That was a genuine question.
I thought there might have been some circumstances where, I don't know...
They were carrying some metal.
Yeah,
And he had a
maybe.
chance to hold it and then say, I thought your metal was going to be heavier.
Okay, so
In what scenario would that happen?
I'm going to tell you.
Go on, then.
Chris is sharing a flat with someone who's in a heavy metal band many years ago.
Right.
And this person has to go and buy some saucepans for the flat. And then the saucepans are of insufficient quality for Chris's needs. And one of the problems, one of the signs of that is unlike, say, a Le Creuset, this is a very light saucepan. It's not heavy enough. And Chris finds that hilarious. The idea that this heavy metal musician has bought stupidly light metal for a domestic context. Now that would be an anecdote. So what happened? So you had bought the album and were disappointed.
Well, they weren't as heavy as I thought they were going to be. And I mentioned this to one of the band members in the interval.
In the interval? I've not been to many gigs. So there's an interval in which it's possible to mingle with the band.
They had an interval and they came off the front of the stage to the bar.
To chat.
To get some drinks.
All right.
Basically, it wasn't the band I thought it was.
So it wasn't Error Type 11.
So the band I saw was Error Type 11.
But the band you'd hoped to see was...
Eyelid.
Eyelid. Okay. And how did you manage to buy tickets to an Error Type 11 concert when what you'd wanted was tickets to an Eyelid concert?
Because I had the CDs in the wrong cases.
So you had been listening repeatedly to Eyelid's music and attributing that music to Error Type 11.
Yeah, and the other way around.
Did they have similar album covers then? Eyelid and what's it called?
Error Type 11.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's mentioned this, but I'm blind, so...
This is a bit awkward because I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but so's Catherine.
All right, David, what's it going to be?
True?
I think true.
I think it's a lie.
All right, well, the thing is, the specifics. If he was making it up, he wouldn't have said that a band member came down during the interval. He would have made up something better. So we're going to go true.
They're saying it's true. Chris, they think it's true. Was it true or was it a lie?
It is true.
It's true. Chris did offend a heavy metaler. Taj, you're next.
I once looked a fool while trying to play it cool by a pool.
Rhyming one.
Where are we, Taj?
Soho House.
Soho House, the exclusive private members club for the fancy pants people of the media industry.
Do you remember, Rob?
Yes. And how recent is this?
About a year ago, and I'd only been a member at this point back for about 2 days.
Is it an indoor pool or an outdoor pool?
It's an outdoor pool, and I need to put my bathing suit on
Right.
somehow.
So you've turned up, but you're wearing normal, non-swimming clothes.
I'm wearing a full-length gingham dress.
Okay.
I like the way you sounded the second G. Gingham.
Are you not supposed to pronounce the second
Oh, I don't
G?
know. There's no right or wrong.
No, because I pronounce a lot of words wrong.
No, not at all. It's not a criticism, it's an observation.
I love it when Rob's trying to be charming and it massively backfires. He always starts with, I love the way it always says, I wasn't having a go at you.
No, I didn't mean to offend you. All I'm saying is, I thought it was rather charming.
So, what happens next?
I decided to, for some reason, change by the pool.
To look cool?
Not to look cool, just because I didn't really want to walk in front of everyone.
It's odd, isn't it, though, the idea that you can't be stood next to a pool in your knickers, but you can in bathing bottoms, which are exactly the same.
I know you've had trouble with the police over this. Now is not the time to raise that subject again.
Listen, you find me a bathing bottoms that you can get them both to stay in, and I will wear them. You have to choose left or right.
So you decide it would be too embarrassing to walk past the people to go to a
Feeling a
changing
bit
room.
self-conscious. I didn't want to get up and walk in front of everyone, so I thought I'll just change by the pool
Right.
and shimmy my knickers off. And I put them in a plastic bag and I shimmied my bathing suit on underneath.
I have to, when I take my pants off, I have to put them in a plastic bag. My wife insists.
In the bag, not the bag, straight into landfill.
Well, David, it's funny you say not the bag, because I didn't knock the bag.
Yeah.
And I look over and think, oh, I recognise that plastic bag, and I recognise those knickers that are now out of the bag and just floating in the pool.
How did they get in the pool?
The wind blew the bag.
Right.
So then I look up and go, my knickers! And I jump up and try to run towards the pool. And in my gusto, I fell headfirst into the pool.
Right.
Legs went over the top
I'll
of
tell you what,
me.
if this isn't true, you've watched a lot of Benny Hill.
And I landed in the pool with
Right.
my full dress on, and everyone's just laughing at me.
All right, what's it going to be, Catherine?
I know her, so I think
She
it's
does.
true.
You think it's true? Okay.
I don't know her, but I think she's lying.
So, true lie,
Yeah.
but you know her.
And I love gingham.
Yes.
Gingham.
It doesn't matter.
Gingham.
It's however you want to
Why
say
you
it.
made people so self-conscious. Left to you, people would just be sitting here in awkward silence, like round that horrible swimming pool at Soho House. Frightened of their own shadows. Should it be sunny enough to cast any shadows, which it never is, sitting there in a gale, touching each other, while pants are relentlessly blown into the water. Is that the Britain we've made? We'll go true.
Taj, was it true or were you telling us a lie?
It was indeed true.
Oh my goodness, no! It's true. Taj did look like a fool in a pool. Catherine, you're next.
I used to think water polo was played on horses.
Please, team.
Is it not? Because I would think that's true.
Just so you know, Taj, you're saying this out loud.
Okay, is this a common sport that everybody knows about? Because I've never seen it.
Which one?
Water polo.
Water polo is the game where you've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 aside and you're trying to hit the ball.
And where do you go to watch that?
Well, you don't, it's boring.
That's what I mean.
It's not
It's in
like
the Olympics and...
It's
you
not
know.
like on the level of football,
Yeah.
but it's. I mean, I've heard of it. Water
I mean,
polo.
presumably you've got to be able to ride and swim.
So you thought it was... and now I'm dealing with 2 people. So you thought... what did you think? You thought...
I thought the same as Taj. It was a long time ago when I was at university. I lived with some very...
You were an adult.
Just.
What kind of adult... Sorry.
Me?
So you were with the type of people that play water polo and polo?
I knew that they were all really sporty and they all had their sports. And this particular person, I knew he played water polo, and I said one day, you know, are the horses all right with that?
Just describe what you were thinking in your head is the sport.
So big swimming pool because
Oh,
it's
you
got to
actually thought
accommodate
it was in a
horses.
swimming pool. Not in a lake or a river.
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actual swimming pool.
Yeah.
And how How deep would it be in relation to the horses?
It'd have to be so deep. I mean, obviously the horses aren't going to be always underwater. They're going to be coming out of the air.
Oh, you think quite a lot of this is the horses are underwater?
Yeah.
Taj, you think this is plausible?
I mean, it's just blowing my mind that this doesn't actually exist, if I'm honest with you.
Well, this is so confusing because we're in a situation where we want to say, could anyone really be that stupid? and then I realise that's really rude to you, so I don't know what to
it's
say.
Fine, I'll take it.
I think it's, Catherine, I think it's an understandable mistake.
Thank you.
Chris, what do you think?
I think she did believe it.
We'll say it's true.
Catherine, they think it's true. Was it true or was it a lie?
It was, in fact, true.
Oh my God. Not just me.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Charlotte. So, Richie, what is Charlotte to you?
This is Charlotte, and I fired her from my Spice Girls tribute band.
Right. Catherine, how do you know Charlotte?
This is Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. She was responsible for the safe return of my missing goldfish.
Right. Then finally, David, your relationship with Charlotte.
This is Charlotte, and she crashed her Lime bike when she saw me take my top off.
So there we have it. Lee, where will you begin?
So, Richie.
Yes.
When you say your Spice Girls tribute act, do you mean you were the manager or you were in the tribute act?
Well, I was a bit of everything. So I was in the tribute act, but I was also manager, choreographer.
Right.
Which
Who were
Spice
you?
Girl?
I'm not going to lie, you don't look like any of them.
Scary Spice.
You were scary.
I was always had to be Scary Spice when I was playing Spice Girls when I was younger.
Am I the only one that's not been in a Spice Girls tribute act? And did you wear the full costume and wig and everything?
No, so basically we were just like a tribute band within the school. We were called the Spice Mix.
Oh, this is when you were a kid?
Yeah.
What age would you have been?
11-ish, 11, 12.
Name the other band members. I don't mean the Spice Girls, I mean the friends.
So
even I could name the Spice Girls.
David, I don't think you could name the Spice Girls. Do it now.
I think I could.
Go on,
I
then.
might get
some of them wrong.
I
could do
don't
it.
know all of them,
Yeah.
but you know.
Let's see you try them.
Jerry Halliwell,
Yeah.
it was Ginger Spice.
Yes.
Victoria, she wasn't Victoria Beckham initially, but she is now, and she was Posh Spice.
Yes.
Can I do the others later?
No.
Emma Bunton,
Yay.
Baby Spice. She's been on this programme.
That's right.
The others
Well
haven't been on
remembered.
this programme.
Who are the others?
Mel's B and C.
yes, well done.
Did you do any gigs?
We'd perform at break times and we'd have a massive crowd. All the dinner ladies would watch, and we'd stand on the steps.
That's a good sign, because they've got places to go.
And we'd perform, and we'd get the biggest round of applause.
When you say perform, were you singing or miming?
We were singing.
Now, Charlotte's not allowed to make a sound, but you could give us a quick blast.
No. Of what?
What do you think?
Oh, no. What now?
Imagine the dinner ladies are watching.
Should I do the rap from one a bit?
Yes, that'd be nice.
We can be the other band members a bit for you.
Yeah, okay.
Are you out of your mind?
So maybe if you two look like you're just sort of jamming with me. That's me.
No, that is off the table.
So here's the story from A to Z. You want to get with me? You better listen carefully. We've got M in the person X in your face. We've got G like MC. Let's it. Easy V doesn't go for free. She's a real lady. After me, ha ha. You'll sing.
I just want to die. That was very good. I remember that, now you do it.
So you said something about Charlotte leaving.
Well, she was fired.
Fired?
Yeah.
Well, how so?
Well, Charlotte was Ginger Spice. And I'll never forget that day, Rob, when I got home and I heard the news that Jerry Halliwell had left the band. It broke me. I was gutted. And obviously I couldn't get to Jerry. So the next day, I went in and fired Charlotte. But she was our ginger smoke.
No way.
I was fuming.
If this is true, you're an awful human being.
How did she take it, Richie?
I remember just like stomping around the school like, where is she? and then I saw her in assembly and I was like, you're out. But, you know, that's showbiz.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Richie, if you wanted to apologise to Charlotte, you could do it now. There'll be a permanent record of it.
I'd just like to say that you were a crucial part of that band and I was just being vile and I'm so sorry. Genuinely. And I hope you found happiness.
All right, who would you like to quiz next?
Catherine, remind us again.
This is Charlotte, and she was responsible for the safe return of my missing goldfish.
And when did your goldfish go missing?
Well, I didn't actually realise the goldfish had gone missing. Charlotte and I are on a neighbourhood WhatsApp. She put on the WhatsApp that her cat had brought home a fish in its mouth. We've got a very small pond with 5 fish, and I asked her to send me a photograph of the fish up close.
Was the fish returned back to you alive or dead?
Alive, which was extraordinary.
Well, how long was it out of the water for?
Well, I don't think it would have been very long because...
Was the cat carrying it in a plastic bag like he'd won it at the fair?
With a pair of pants in there as well.
Charlotte did return him in a plastic bag.
How far away does she live from you?
Probably about a 2-minute walk.
How big is the pond?
Not very big.
And people saying it's a tiny pond. How small?
Or how big? It's the same question, isn't it?
What is size?
If you were to step into the pond, whereabouts in your body would it go up to?
Something personal.
Or as David would say, how deep is it?
It would depend what footwear I was wearing.
Imagine you're barefoot.
Yeah.
How far up before you get an algae line?
To my sort of breast area.
That's...
Whoa. Your
That's
pond
deep.
is going up to your breast. That's
My
a deep...
chest area.
That's a deep pond,
I
Catherine.
would say probably my waist
You
area.
answer... Oh, dear. Is it lined?
Is it what? Lined? Yes,
Is your
it's
pump?
lined, yes.
You got a pump?
Have I got a pump?
Have you got a pump?
Personally, a pump?
Have you got a pump?
A breast pump?
Not a breast pump. Have you... That would be an odd question. If I had a flat tyre and I knocked on your door and said, sorry, have you got a pump? And you went, what, a breast pump? I would go, you're very odd, aren't you?
Is the pond pumped?
Yes, of course it's pumped, but I'm not
It's very excited. It's been talked about on television.
OK, Lee, what about David's claim? David, remind us of your relationship.
This is Charlotte, and she crashed her Lime bike when she saw me take my top off.
Where were you, David?
I was walking along the pavement near my house in London.
Right.
Were you on your own?
I was.
What were you wearing, David?
I might have been wearing shorts.
Short trousers?
In shorts?
Yeah.
And what is covering up that manly chest of yours?
A short-sleeved shirt.
Do you wear T-shirts ever?
Not very often.
Why not?
Because I'm very, very formal.
Are you? Formal from the waist up.
I don't-
But quick but relaxed from the waist down.
From the waist down, I'm positively familiar.
OK. Why did you take your top off?
Because I was being attacked by a wasp.
Of course. But
why did you take-
But did it go up the shirt?
Yes.
Why didn't you just sort of do that and waft it
No,
out?
because the wasp was just nearby and I thought I would frighten it with my bare torso.
So you took your top off. Now
Yeah.
talk us through Charlotte's...
What did she crash into?
A car.
Oh, a moving car?
No. A very unemotional car. But no, a stationary car.
Talk us through what happens after she's crashed the bike.
Well, by this point, I've got my shirt back on to everyone.
The wasp has gone.
I don't know where the wasp's gone, to be honest. We tried to get the wasp on the show, but it was unable to be contacted. So she's hit the back of a parked car.
Yeah.
And I noticed this happening, and I go over, and I'm very, very nice.
Are you?
Yes, in general,
Wow.
but specifically on this occasion.
Did you swap numbers afterwards then?
Well, she asked for a photo. And she said, but I then started to take the shirt off. She said, no.
Keep it on.
She took a photo, and I must say, opportunist that I am, I did think, oh, maybe this is one for the programme. You know?
Oh, I thought that was going to end with opportunist. I said, do you like a Weatherspoon's
Yes,
breakfast?
You see,
Which isn't a euphemism.
All right, we need an answer. So Lee's team.
Wow.
Is Charlotte Richie's snubbed singer, Catherine's fishy friend, or David's stunned cyclist?
So who are we ruling out? Let's rule someone out.
Oh, definitely Catherine.
We'll rule
Catherine
David
out.
I think so.
It's a long time to survive out of water in a
Yeah.
cat's mouth. Unless the cat's mouth was very wet.
Now, what about Richie and the spice mix?
The thing about his story, which makes it the most plausible to me, is that he managed to do that rap.
I mean, we could probably all do a bit of Ice Ice Baby, but we weren't Vanilla Ice tribute acts, were we?
That's a very good point. And David...
I don't think David wears shorts.
Hang on.
David,
Wait.
you've got a fly in your... It's gone now.
you see, this can happen. Insects, you know.
Take your top off! Weirdly, I think the clapping dinner ladies is the most plausible story.
Yeah.
It's the detail of the
Gotta
clapping
be.
dinner ladies.
Yeah.
So,
it's Richie.
you're saying it's Richie? Okay. Charlotte, would you please reveal your true identity?
Hi, I'm Charlotte, and Richie fired me from his Spice Girls tribute band.
Yes, Charlotte is Richie's snubbed singer. Thank you very much, Charlotte. Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
Once, whilst house sitting for my friend on his farm, I had to leap out of bed in the middle of the night and deliver a litter of piglets.
David's team.
It's sweet, isn't it? Sweet story.
Yeah, it's a lovely story.
It is.
House sitting for a friend of yours on a farm.
Yeah, and he woke me up in the middle of the night and said,
I thought you were house sitting.
What?
Yeah, good point.
If you're house sitting, he won't be there.
No. I was house sitting,
Yes.
but he'd been called in the night, and I wasn't answering the phone.
Sorry, just going back a bit.
Yeah.
Right, whose house are you house sitting in?
I was house sitting for a friend.
And this house is a farm.
It's a farm, and someone else lives on the farm.
Right.
And he couldn't. He phoned me.
But why is he trying to get through to you?
Because he's heard that the piglets are going to give birth.
The piglets are going to give
The
birth.
pigs.
How did he hear that? Did the pig ring him? That guy you've got up at the house isn't picking up. Can you try ringing him?
I've never said this in 18 years, but I will say it. Can I start again? The truth is, I'm on a farm. I'm house sitting for my friend on the farm.
Who's a farmer?
He's a farmer, yes.
Where is he, by the way?
He's gone on holiday.
He's on holiday?
Yes.
Right, what happens next?
I don't know, he sits by the pool, he has a drink.
How did you get to the situation where you deliver the pigs?
So, I'm in the house, and there's a guy who's just nothing to do with the farm whatsoever. He's just renting a small bungalow at the end of the farm.
Right.
Now, I am asleep, right?
Yeah.
And the pig has gone into labour.
Yeah.
And the guy who rents the bungalow has heard a noise. And he rings the man, doesn't he? The farmer.
Right.
And he says, right, I'll ring my mate who's house sitting, see if he can deal with it. Right. But he can't get through to me.
Why?
Because my phone has not got any battery.
Why can't the guy in the bungalow deal with it?
Because he hasn't got a charger.
So when was this?
I would say I was about 23.
So that's about 40 years ago.
It was 2023.
It was
when they had mobile phones.
So it wasn't. It wasn't 40 years ago. It was just recently.
He's peeked through the sty and he's seen the sow. I know all the words. I've seen Charlotte's Web.
Right.
He sees one bit of a piglet coming out.
So then bungalow guy has to go up to the farmhouse and ring on the doorbell.
Correct. He says, I think the sow is giving birth. Either that or one of the smaller pigs is playing hide and seek.
So what happened?
Well, the pig was in distress. Not this dress, in his own dress. The pig was in distress.
Okay.
And
rubber gloves?
I don't know what his name was. And
her name.
Sorry, her, yes.
Very important point here.
So immediately I go in, and by this point, 2 of them are already out, and there's another one trying to get out. And that's where I step in.
Did you pull it?
I didn't get off with it, if that's what you want.
Did you pull the tail?
I did. Pull the little... no, not the tail. I pulled him by his little trotters.
Oh, like that?
I just did that. Slowly coasting out the trotters there. Slowly.
Are you pulling or are you milking the sow?
No, I'm slowly... Because the first rule of getting a piglet out of a sow is you don't do that, do you? No, because he might be holding on to the other one like that. Then you've got them all coming out at once and you can't deal with that. It's too much stress. You know, I was frazzled, which is not the right word to use. And I was pulling, and out. That one comes out. So I've got this one out, so immediately put it onto my breast. I did not lactate or breastfeed the piglet.
Once it was all done and dusted, how many piglets?
There was 14. 14 piglets.
14 piglets.
Yeah.
Did they name any of the piglets after you or anything? Because that's amazing what you did.
Thank you very much.
Did you get a plaque or anything?
Do you know what, genuinely? Gave me a pig. Gave me one of the piglets.
What have you called it?
I can't remember now because I didn't keep it very long, I'm afraid.
Oh.
I was, there's only one word I can think of, peckish.
So, Richie, what are you thinking?
I can't get on board with it. I think there might be some inaccuracies. I think it's a lie.
Catherine?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a lie, but it was really, I was really there with you, though.
Yeah.
You did.
That's funny, because
paint
I
the
wasn't.
scene.
Let's go for a guess.
Our
It's a
guess
lie.
is that it's a lie.
They're guessing it's
guessing.
a lie. Lee, was it a lie, or was that actually true?
It was, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Lee wasn't a pig's midwife. That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team has won by 3 points to 2. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.
One gigantic skeleton in the cupboard for Daisy May Cooper. Am I Being Unreasonable? Back for a new series. Press red to watch on iPlayer. Or on BBC Sounds, famous names giving their younger selves some sound advice. Young again? Listen now.
Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show that sorts the facts from the fibs. On David Mitchell's team tonight, from the Big Breakfast to Big Brother, it's presenter AJ Odudu. And joining us for his first appearance, comedian Darren Harriott. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, can she be trusted? From the Traitors, it's Diane Carson. And a stand-up from Down Under, Sam Campbell. We start with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. AJ, you're first up.
I once had to leave a hen do because the stripper turned up and it was my old English teacher.
Lee's team.
Wow, okay.
When did you recognise him, immediately or halfway through the act?
Well, you used to be a teacher, didn't you, Diane? Is this
But no
ringing bells?
stripper.
You never stripped.
God, no.
This is why you've never been a chat show host.
But she left before he stripped, right?
No, I had to leave a hen do because I was so embarrassed. I couldn't look him in the eye.
You're not supposed to, are you? What part of the strip was he at when you left?
I watched the full Monty, of course I did. Have you ever been to a stag do or a hen party with as a stripper?
Right, David? No.
They hang around after, because they don't just leave immediately.
What to chat? They sort of go, now I've stripped and now I will mingle.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the show? Actually, I'm an English teacher as well, so...
Did he recognise you?
Yeah.
How could you tell? What, you made eye contact or something?
It was just it was an awkward strip.
An awkward strip?
He looked visibly embarrassed.
Was the strip at all a classroom theme? Did he have like the dusters? Like,
no, he didn't.
Maybe a bit of chalk or something like this.
But that would have been really good.
The tie spinning around.
I don't know, because I know some strippers are sort of themed, they turn and look like a police officer or a fireman, and that's not sure teacher.
Yeah.
I think it feels like it's more of a complicated message they're putting out.
I've got your essays back.
So what are you thinking? Sam, what do you reckon?
So, you know the stripper wharf and emerged from a cake? What if he came out of like a giant school lunch?
Yeah, I think we've established it wasn't school themed.
It's good that you're working on his act for it.
So, Lee, what's your team going to say?
What do we think, son?
Maybe when he starts, he'd go, my name is... He writes his name on the wall.
I think we have established it's not a school theme. Lee.
So you think it's true or not?
Oh, true. Absolutely,
right.
every time.
I think it's a lie.
I think you're too classy for that kind of tawdry event, AJ.
So, they're saying it's a lie. Was it a lie, or was it actually the truth?
Well, Lee, it is a lie!
Yes, it's a lie. AJ didn't leave a hen do because she knew the stripper. Darren, you're next.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I have a bath, I always sit in the empty tub first, then turn on the taps.
Please, T.
How long for?
Well, it depends what I'm doing.
What might you be doing while you're sitting in an
sometimes
empty
shaving
bath?
my head.
In the bath?
Yeah.
Well, when you put the bath on, all the hairs are floating in the bath.
Well, I don't know, maybe it goes down the drain before I turn it on.
Well, how the hell does it go down if you haven't turned it on? You got a massive straw. Are you naked at this point, by the way?
Of course I am.
Don't talk to me like I'm the idiot. You're sitting in a bath with no water in it, mate.
I just find it very comfortable. I also quite like the fact that it's quite cold in there.
I was going to
as well.
say, that's the problem, right? You're going to have a cold bottom.
What about additives like a bubble bath or some bath salts? Which do you favour?
Yeah, bath salt.
Oh, do you like to put the salts in first on their own? Just sit on there like a really miserable slug.
I just don't believe one word of it. Why would you sit in a bath and shave your head?
I can't shave my hair outside. I don't have a garden. So I realised when I was shaving...
Weirdly, I do have a garden. I've never realised what I was supposed to be using it for.
Can I ask a question? You're shaving your head. Are you manscaping?
Every now and again.
Would you explain to David what manscaping is?
It's sort of shaving and making sure everything looks neat and tidy. Like
a golf course.
Like a golf course.
Let's just do a little poll here. Is there any single person in this audience, just put your hand up, who gets into the bath with it empty, sits there naked, and then watches as the water slowly rises up?
All right, Rob, you don't have to say
Because
like
that's...
There's a few people.
Really?
That's weird, because it's all the bald men.
What are you thinking, Sam? Truth or lie?
Would you be open to shaving other men in the bath?
We're a pre-watershed show.
It sounds all right, I don't know.
Is he telling the truth?
For a long time I thought he was, but then some of the stuff Lee was saying, I was like, all right. I would say that I believe Lee in some of the things that
It's not me doing it, it's him.
I think it's a lie.
You think it's a lie? Yeah, we'll say it's a lie.
They say it's a lie. Was it a lie, Darren, or was it true?
It is a lie. I do turn my hair in the bath.
Yes, it's a lie. Darren doesn't sit in the bath as it fills. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Dawn. So, Diane, what is Dawn to you?
So this is Dawn. She's the tarot card reader whose warnings I chose to ignore while I was in the traitor's house.
Sam, how do you know Dawn?
This is Dawn. She's the reporter who hired me to work undercover in a disgusting restaurant kitchen.
And finally, Lee, what is your relationship with Dawn?
This is Dawn. I accidentally set a frog loose in her chemist.
So there we have it. Diane's mystic mate, Sam's covert colleague, or Lee's frightened pharmacist. David's team, where will you begin?
Well, Diane, so she's a tarot reader. Tell us what happened.
I'll set the scene.
Right.
It was Christmas, so we all happened to be quite ill and we were being sick.
All right.
So normally at Christmas, when I've got all the family together, I'm really busy cooking, you know, wrapping presents, making everything joyful to everybody, playing board games. That's our sort of a Christmas. So this particular Christmas, we were all really, really ill. And my kid said to me, Traitors is on. And I went, no, I don't want to see it. And they just put it on anyway. Mm-hmm. So we watched the last episode together.
The final?
Of the first series.
Yeah, you just watched that?
Yeah.
No point watching the final of the second series. She knows what happens.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, I think I could do this. That looks like fun.
Can I just check, if we're all going this far back in the story, can I mention about the time that my frog was a tadpole?
I'm just setting the scene.
You are definitely setting the scene. We're still not at the series you were in yet.
So you've seen the last episode, you like it.
And I said, I can do this. And my kid said, no, you'd be too gobby, you'd be too opinionated, you wouldn't get on. So then I said, no, I'd be okay, I'd be okay at the challenges. And they said, well, you would never be able to blend into the background, not be opiniinated, you'd be too noisy. No, I haven't got to that part
No,
yet.
we know that. We know that.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to hearing about Dawn's childhood.
So anyway, one of them flippantly sent me an application form. Now, I was worried if I did watch Traitors, I would be too scared then to continue with the application form, so I didn't watch it. So then...
But you watched the final?
I'd watched the final.
You watched the final.
Usually people interrupt to pad out the stories. You don't need to do that.
Stop it! You're distracting me! I'm telling you the Next time I want David's team, please have that note.
Whoa.
Right.
Next time.
So, right, when you're going through the audition process, they kept advising us to watch the first series.
Yes.
And I still didn't want to, so then I decided I would ring up and...
I know you're not supposed to talk on this show. Have you ever met her? Yes or no?
Dawn, not a word, nothing.
So anyway, I decided to contact a tarot card reader. So I went round to Dawn's house and she laid out the cards and she basically warned me of a snake that was to come.
Right.
And she told me I needed to do my research.
But you ignored her advice.
Well, no, I took half of it.
Right.
The week before I went into the castle, I watched the first series.
Not until she said, do your research.
Yes. And then she said, beware of a snake.
Right.
What's your favourite breed of snake?
You don't know about Sam's chat-up lines, do you?
So I happened to be in a challenge and we were all in these dry suits and people were taking off their tops and so on and so forth. And I happened to notice a tattoo on Harry's chest.
Harry's the one who eventually won.
Yeah.
And he had a snake on his chest.
Wow. Okay.
That's like what the fortune teller warned about.
He's a tarot reader.
The tarot reader. I should have spotted Harry had a snake tattoo, and I should have gone for Harry.
Okay. All right. Who would you like to quiz next?
Sam, what's your story?
She hired me to go undercover at a disgusting, filthy restaurant.
Why you?
So I was interning at the Courier Mail where all this went down.
There's a newspaper in Australia called the Courier Mail. What's the circulation, approximately?
Well, welcome to the fun.
The circulation, I thought you'd never ask. So it's all sort of Brisbane, all around that area. This is a big paper.
I'm sorry to ask questions that you find inappropriate, Sam, but is the Courier Mail a national newspaper in Australia?
No, it's statewide.
But one state of Australia.
But states are huge. In
Yes, I know, but you know...
Well, you sound as though you don't.
What I'm trying to get to the bottom of here, Rob, is that this is a big expose on one restaurant. Now, I would say that if it was a national newspaper, that wouldn't be plausible. State-wise, maybe.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
Why did you wave your hands like that, like an Italian? Like an Italian.
How did you come into contact with the paper? How did she find you?
I was interning there because I wanted to be AJ, a journalist. So it was all the interns. We all applied for this job at September's The Italian Restaurant, and I was the one who happened to get the job as a dish pig.
What's a dish pig?
Washing the plates.
Washing the plate.
And that's what they call you?
It's a little dish pig.
Oh, well, that's really good for your ego, isn't it? Oh, they're lovely, the Australians, aren't they?
Remind us of what it is that you are sniffing around trying to uncover.
Truffles.
Basically things like rats and like sort of, some reheating.
Rats, did you say?
They weren't reheating the rats are served. Yeah.
But did you bond with everyone then?
I worked there for 4 months.
You just carried on working there.
This is the thing. I was bonding with people, and so I was like, oh no, it's all pretty legit, and I never squealed.
Did you, at any point, sort of confer with Dawn about what was going on?
There was one meeting where I said, yeah, there's no story here. And then there was just emails about it. Anything yet? Nothing yet.
So how did it come to a close then?
Oh no, I just worked there for 4 months and then kept on with my university studies, stopped doing journalism and actually got into a sort of a career in comedy.
And what did you do after that?
You are nasty. You take it back.
Right, David, what about Lee Mack? He's the one in the middle.
Lee's probably true.
Just remind us, Lee.
This is Dawn, and Diane's story took so long that she's changing her name to Evening. This is Dawn. I accidentally set a frog loose in her chemist.
Can I ask why you had a frog and how it managed to get loose?
Yes, you can.
If you don't mind.
Oh, go on, ask it.
Why did you...
Turns out Darren can't answer. let me ask, how did you have a frog and how did it get loose?
Is that what you want to ask, Darren?
That's what I want to do.
Well, I'm not doing it until I hear you ask me.
Why did you have a frog and how did it get loose?
Did you say frag?
I don't think anyone heard that.
We all heard it.
The frog there.
Why did you say frag?
I don't know. I tried to do an accent. I kind of lost it.
You're from Birmingham, aren't you?
Yeah, from the West Mids, yeah. All right.
No, that's not. Wait, you're getting it wrong. That's an American accent. So you're frog.
Lee, mate, why did you have a frog and how did you lose it?
Good question, Darren. I was walking down the road with my daughter Millie, and I came across
A frog.
A frog.
A frog. In the middle of the road or on the pavement?
It was sort of, it was on neither.
Okay.
It was about a third of the way to the middle of the road.
Okay.
We saw the frog in the road.
Yeah.
And it wasn't jumping around much.
Wasn't jumping.
Correct.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, because if it had been jumping around a lot, I wouldn't have been able to answer David's question so easily, would I? Where was it? It was on the curb, it was on the pavement, it was on the middle, on the left, it's on the right, it's gone back on the curb, it's gone down. We'd have been here all day, and no one wants that in a story, do they?
No one wants that. I do.
So the frog was stationary.
Well, no, you couldn't use them as a pencil sharpener. Yes, the frog was not moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you catch him?
I had a coffee cup that was virtually empty, and I went up to the frog slowly. I could see he was alive because it was. And I thought, if he's doing that with his hand, he must be alive. And so I got up there and I just sort of put him in. He jumped in the coffee cup. I put the lid back on the coffee cup. So now I can go back to Costa and get a free coffee because I can say, I found this at the bottom of my cappuccino.
Now, where does Dawn come into this story?
Well, first thing in the morning, wasn't it?
Where does this Dawn enter the story?
Sorry. Well, Dawn is Dawn of Dawn's Chemist. I'm in the shop and I'm waiting, making small talk.
Yes.
Me and Dawn. I know Dawn a bit. We're talking about her brothers. They're both farmers, actually.
Yeah.
Farmer A, Farmer B. She's Farmer C. And... I just was very forgetful for a moment. So went like that.
Oh no.
Went like that. Felt the movement. Oh my God! And in the action of doing that, it bounced against the lid dislodged, and the frog got loose.
And he's hopping around?
Now he's off like a shot.
He's woken up. He's had the equivalent of 19 coffees.
And how did Dawn respond? That's the whole thing here. I mean,
she said, "Come on, get the frog, get the frog."
So she's behind the counter, just going, "Get the frog, get the frog."
No, she was multitasking. She's going, "Get the frog, get the frog, get the tablets for Mrs. Green. Get the frog. It's on the top counter. I've told you before."
How does the story conclude?
It doesn't. That was 3 years ago. My daughter's still in that chemist looking for it. Social services have got involved, and the RSPCA.
We need an answer. So David's team, is Dawn Diane's mystic mate, Sam's covert colleague, or Lee's frightened pharmacist?
What do you think?
I feel like Sam's story is the one that I probably believe the most. And a lot of comedians before, when they're quite young, they would do something like that, where they'd be like an undercover detective and then get a job at a place that is obviously...
He wasn't an undercover detective, to be clear. He was an interned reporter at a paper. What about Lee?
I think Lee's description of the behaviour of a traumatised frog was extremely believable and rather moving.
I think it's Diane, and she looks like someone that I would believe. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if she was dealing some cards...
If she was dealing some cards...
Receiving some cash...
Yeah.
You seem like you can tell the future.
Yeah.
Okay, and you...
Okay, yeah, let's go Diane.
Okay, we're going to go Diane. We'll go Diane.
You're going to say it's Diane? Dawn, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Dawn, and Diane ignored my warnings.
Yes, Dawn is Diane's mystic mate. Thank you very much, Dawn. Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lives, and we start with... It's David.
I once unwittingly ran through my school naked.
Lee's team. What do you think?
Why?
I was a child.
What age?
9. And we were supposed to change after sport and have a shower.
What sort of school was this?
Was it a rough council estate school?
It wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, it was a...
Oh, so this is all a facade?
Tell us about this fateful day.
Well, after sport...
What sport was it?
Polo.
Lacrosse.
The Crumpington Toss.
I have a sense that it would have been hockey or football.
Did you love the hockey?
No. I hated football, and I hated hockey more because it was football but people had weapons. After sport, right, you have to go into the classroom to change for the shower. And the
What?
shower, yeah. The shower.
Is this one of these schools we're going to see on Panorama?
You changed for the shower in the classroom and then went down the corridor and into the shower.
What, naked?
You could take everything off except your pants. And then you go to the shower, you take your pants off, you have the shower, you put your pants on, you go back, you finish changing.
Right.
That was the system.
And so why aren't you wearing your pants?
Because when taking all my things off, I overshot.
Was this the first time you'd got changed for the showers?
No.
Well, then why did you not know?
Human error.
You rip off your pants, you're naked. What happens next?
I head towards the showers.
Do you realise you're naked as you're walking towards the shower? Do you mind?
Yes to both. Yes, I realise as I'm walking along.
Yes, you're
and
embarrassed.
yes, I mind.
And you were further than halfway. It wasn't worth going back.
I'm further than halfway. Nevertheless, I go back. I'm thinking, okay, once I get into the showers, it's fine. It's normal suddenly to be naked, if you can imagine anything so twisted. But then what am I going to do?
Surely you need a towel to dry yourself off.
That's a good point. I'm holding the towel.
Why did you never think to put that towel round you?
But putting towels around your waist, that's not 9-year-olds don't do that. Wouldn't have the technique with the tucking it in or anything.
You couldn't work out how to put a towel round your waist.
What?
Isn't private education a wonderful thing?
What I was doing was running down a corridor naked, suddenly realising I'm running down a corridor naked and everyone else is running down a corridor just wearing pants.
Right.
I found that quite a stressful moment, so I didn't pause to develop the technique of wrapping a towel around my waist. What I did was I ran back and put my pants on.
How big of an event was it? Like, if we went to the school now, would they sort of be singing songs about this?
They would not, no. I'll tell you why. Nobody noticed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, Sam, what do you think?
I think this guy, he is such a little gentleman. I don't think he's ever been naked. I think he's always been wearing at least some long johns or a singlet.
If he's made that up, it just sounds whoop.
Well, the guy is sick.
Diana, as a teacher, what do you think?
I think because you've never done it before,
Yeah.
why would you do it this time? So I think it's a lie.
I've known David a long time, and I know nothing about the school he went to, but this all makes sense to me. All of it.
If it is true, he sat on this for 18 series.
I know, but I think he's so traumatised, he's been able to shelve it.
No, I told this story years ago to the production, and for whatever reason, they never wanted to use it. But the time came where there was literally nothing else true about me apart from this grotty little moment, this formative moment of secret humiliation. And they thought we're going to have to see if that comes out in a way that is in any form broadcastable.
When you tell this story, were you lying down on a leather couch? You both think it's a lie?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my team, but oh God, it's true.
You're saying it's a lie?
I say it's a lie.
We're saying it's a lie, David.
It's a lie.
Was that story a lie or was it true?
Oh God, it's true.
Yes, I'm afraid it was true. David did run naked through his school. Next, it's Sam.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I only found out this morning that David Bowie is dead.
David's team.
Okay.
Wow.
How did you find out?
Yeah. My friend brought him up.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And we were talking about that.
Your friend brought him up? This was Mr. Bowie Senior, was it?
Yeah.
So when you realised that David Bowie had gone, how did you feel?
It's really hard to say with words.
Would you like to tell me through the medium of dance?
I could make just a sound.
Please.
Oh.
It it was very, very sad. Too soon.
Wait, it's my second favourite David.
Who's your first one? It's quite a big figure to die, though.
It is.
Like, you don't have to be a David Bowie fan to know that he died.
That is
years
true.
ago.
I am not a fan, and I knew that
And
he
you
died
knew.
8 years ago.
What didn't you like about him?
I just don't. You know, he hadn't chosen to be a novelist. He could have done a sitcom, couldn't he? Make the effort.
Good point.
Oh, another song. Great.
Even if that were to be true, you would never admit that.
If you say a person, I'll say whether I think they're dead or not.
Okay, go on then. Michael Jackson.
Dead.
Prince.
Dead.
Winston Churchill.
Alive in our hearts.
Yeah.
So is this a new round?
Right, it's time. What are you going to say, David?
I think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie.
I think on the balance of probabilities.
Yeah.
We have
They
to
think
go
it's a lie. Okay, Sam, truth or lie?
Oh yeah, it's a lie.
It's a lie. Sam knows that David Bowie has passed away. Oh, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that David's team have 3 points and Lee's team have 2. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.